Hey everybody, Zach here. Welcome to our second interview with Edwin and Liesbeth from Clean2Antarctica. On our first interview a few months ago, Edwin and Liesbeth were preparing for this amazing adventure. Now they have just returned back to the Netherlands, and we were fortunate enough to have our Tesla Time newsroom member Howard, who traveled to meet and interview them. Thank you, Howard. On a personal note, I am so inspired by Edwin and Liesbeth. They are truly remarkable people, and I hope you find this interview as inspirational as I did.
I'm speaking with Edwin and Liesbeth. They just came back from Antarctica on a voyage of discovery of themselves and what it's going to be like to help the world be a better place. So, Can you give me just a quick synopsis of what the trip was and why you did it?
It was an awesome trip. We experienced quite a few new things. We had to live in a situation of severe weather, and this had to be done with our Solar Voyager, a car built out of waste plastic and which is solar powered. And that was in our mission because we want to inspire the rest of the world. Don't throw things away because it's a pity. You can do an awful lot of nice things with waste. And to put our money where put our money where our mouth is, to say so, we thought, well, let's show the world that we actually can do much more things than we thought in the beginning.
When was this a glimmer in your eye? When did you start this? How long has it been now?
I think it was about 2.5 years ago, and it was in our kitchen, preparing dinner. And after preparing dinner, you have a lot of trash. And that's where it all started. We thought, well, it has to be different. And
Well, it is strange that you sincerely want to live sustainable and see the problem in the world with waste. And we all talk about we have to change, but still every day we're contributing to the problem because we're still wasting. And thinking that the governments or the industry will make the change for us, that's...
You'd be waiting till hell freezes over.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the moment we thought, well, if we sincerely want to live sustainable, then we have to act to it.
But don't you think to have people have an incentive, a monetary incentive, because all the goodwill only goes so far where, people, you just get lazy. So there needs to be...
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
I mean, that's the problem with most things. When you gathered all this, you had school children and things gathering all the plastic. They brought it to you. You shredded it up. What was the process on that to make it into these hex combs?
The hex core, yeah, that's the building block we have developed to build actually the core of the core construction of the Solar Voyager. So it is, to say it in other words, it is a sort of jigsaw puzzle, a 3D jigsaw puzzle. And it's all built out of this hexagonal building blocks, which is printed in a standard 3D printer.
The one behind over here?
Yeah, we have 30 of them in a sort of printer farm, and we printed 5,000 of these building blocks.
And how did you actually assemble it? Are they glued together or plastic melt?
No. You could easily slide them together, and we reinforce the whole construction with carbon. So there is a carbon sheet on the outside and the inside of the car. This is nice, but this is not the magic. The magic is more in the way we have collected all this material. We asked children of the primary school, please help us with building this whole project, the Solar Voyager, and let's start a crazy expedition on Antarctica. And they were thrilled to help us with that. And so we started the urban mining process.
Yeah, I think the younger children, it really gets them going.
Yeah.
It's a dream.
Yeah, but
and they're part of it.
before that, I experienced it by myself. If you're collecting waste plastic, in the beginning you think, well, it is worthless. That's the reason why I throw it away. But if you change your mind 180 degrees, it is not worthless, but valuable. It is not waste at the end of its lifetime, but raw material in the beginning of the lifetime. Then there is something developing in your mind. And if you begin to believe that and act to that, and collecting waste material and sort it out, because we have different types of waste plastic, and chop it like this into flakes, you actually gonna bond it with the material. It is not waste anymore. It is something which is, having a lot of your energy inside, and you can actually feel it. And we saw this, I saw it happening with myself and later on with children. They were quite enthusiastic.
Something you could touch.
Yeah, Edwin, we have collected this and we have cleaned it and chopped it. Is this okay? Is this the material we can use to build and to print the solar voyager? So if you're busy with material, there will be a sort of relation with it, a sort of respect for material. You see the possibilities, you will be attached with it.
It's like panning for gold, and you
Yeah.
find these little gold
Yeah.
chunks.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the good thing, because why is it being called waste? It is not waste. There is no molecule changed in this material, actually. So waste is something in your mind. It is not existing. That's the problem. And working with this, you will experience it. And once you have experienced it, this is for myself and also for the children, the way which gives you the revenues of your action, and it will open new possibilities for you. And that's the good thing.
How many plastic containers do you think went to make that?
Not that
'Cause-
much.
Really?
Because the amount of plastic we actually have been used to make filament out of it
Okay.
was only 250 kilograms. So that's not
Oh, it's very light.
They're whole
Okay.
light.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a smart
Super light.
construction. Yeah, super
Okay.
light and very strong. It can withstand a lot of pressure. We have tested this material. We put 3,000 kilograms of pressure on top of this hex core, and it can withstand that. And in a core construction, only the compression is on the core material. So
You think there's something that like aircraft could use in this way that's super
They
light and super
already do
strong?
this.
Oh, okay.
yeah, only with aluminium.
Right. But if they were to use the waste plastic in airplanes, I'm thinking.
Well, it is possible, but to be honest, we have chosen for plastic because that's the majority of our waste in the trash bin. But it is not about plastic. It is more about, are we willing to change our mindset? Are we willing to do our effort to make this transition from linear to circular real, instead of only talking and lip services?
But there's other things going beyond just the plastic. It's the helping the sea life not get caught in the
Exactly.
little containers
Yeah,
and all the
exactly.
plastics out at sea, and
Yeah.
it multiplies.
But there
just
are
getting
others,
it off before it goes
yeah,
out there.
but do not forget this. There are others who said, well, you can recycle this to oil, so the old plastic can be oil again, so
then
that
it's
you
gonna
can make
pollute.
new plastic or burn it for energy.
Well,
And
there are companies that make clothing out of it now.
yeah, but be careful, because recycling is not a good thing. You have to be thinking circular. You have to be sure that you will not lose material. And in the majority of recycle processes, we're constantly losing an awful lot of material or burning it. And then we think it will not be in our marine life. Yeah, that's correct, but it will be in nature at the end, because it is an emission.
Where is the vehicle going to be? Are you going to give it to a museum? Have you thought that far ahead?
No, well, first we are willing to use it as a sort of icon and to do our talkings.
Okay.
Because we have to spread.
Pretty big
the-
vehicle to move around.
Yeah, it is,
Yeah,
but
it is.
it is touchable. You can
Yeah.
sit inside.
What,
and
what size is the actual tractor, the motorized part?
It's nearly 6 meters.
Okay,
Length?
so 18 feet.
And exactly, and the whole length of the solar Voyager is 16 meters. That's the truck and the 2 trailers. Quite a tall vehicle.
Oh yeah, how tall is it?
The length is 60 meters,
Yeah.
the height is 3.5 meters, and the width is 270.
Wow. And what does the vehicle weigh? Approximately.
Empty without cargo and us,
Right.
1,500 kilograms.
Okay, so that's
Less
very
than
light
that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very
for that size.
Yeah, very
That's your average, maybe mid-size or compact car, somewhere around.
correct, but the size
Oh
of
yeah, yeah. It's the
big
size
lorry.
of a lorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is combining 10 solar panels, which are giving us the energy to drive. And
Yeah. How
to
many
survive.
kilowatts was that? On a good day, how much would it make?
In general, we collected more or less 1,500 watts. But it is in general, 24 hours. And also the sun is moving around us, so there are quite a couple of hours which are not really effective in charging.
Right, they're
batteries.
parallel to
Yeah,
the panel instead
exactly.
of perpendicular.
But if we are talking about phasing them correctly on the sun, in theory, we could charge 3,500 watts.
That's
and
a-
our maximum on Antarctica,
Yeah.
and this was a big surprise, was 4,800.
Is that because of the clear atmosphere? That
Exactly.
More, okay.
Exactly.
It makes a big difference in making solar.
Exactly. So
Except when the windstorms came up and the snow, you probably got, much less, right?
yeah, we had days that we were actually talking about, well, let's stop for half an hour and supercharge our batteries. And within half an hour, up till 1 hour, we're completely fully charged from almost empty. So that was amazing. But
So the batteries were there just to help supplement the solar that you were producing as you were driving along.
yeah, and driving on Antarctica, based on our calculation, would consume 1,500 watts,
Okay.
1.5 kilowatt. Due to the severe situation we experienced, we had to consume much more than that, almost 3,000, double.
Okay.
But it is also with the solar energy, we're charging much more energy than we expected
On a good day.
on a good day.
How many good days did you have?
4.
How many bad days?
Well, the rest.
20 whatever?
Yeah, yeah, more than 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
25.
We monitored 23 years of weather data
Yeah.
From NASA.
from NASA to see what we could expect. And based on that, average you could expect 2, maximum 3 days with a blizzard and a whiteout. And for the rest, clear skies. In 23 years, it was the situation that there is no cloud cover and a lot of sun. And this has also been told about by the people who are for many years on Antarctica, busy with all the logistics for the investigations and things like that. We have seen quite another situation.
Now, is this like the previous, say, 5 years? Is it showing that it's becoming that way, or is just a fluke on this trip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
The last thing, and if I'm not a climate specialist, so I do not know if this was a bad season or the start, the pivot point of a complete other situation for the coming years or centuries.
So where's the vehicle right now? sitting in Chile,
It's still in Chile. We put it in a container. We take off the wheels and we put it in a container. And now it's ready for shipment, and it will be shipped by today or tomorrow. So
on a slow
it's
boat?
gonna be here. Yeah, it's on a boat.
Okay.
And it's gonna be here early March, maybe end of February.
What's your next project? Sleep?
Well, keep inspiring people to do different with their waste, helping companies and the government making the change. Spin-offs that came out of...
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but somebody has to do it. But there are a lot of spin-offs out of this project. So I think that, we don't have to worry about...
Yeah, I think your
things to
job's
do.
secure.
Well, I don't know.
That's not
a
for
little
sure.
bit, yeah.
We have spent all our savings for this project, and it was. I do not have any regrets for that. But we're bankrupt now completely. So that means that our next project, we should first see the funding for that before starting. But to be honest, I cannot imagine that I'm doing something else with my precious time than continuing working on the mission.
What was your job previously? Or are you still doing your job?
No, I have.
Your background?
I haven't had any salary for 3 years now. I was an entrepreneur, and I did do something in business process management, and also in residential control systems, but I stopped with that. And with the magical moment Liesbeth already told us, we decided, well, let's not only change our mind, but also our behavior, and do a radical, make a radical step in doing the things 180 degrees different than before.
You're trying to set an example for people also how they can change their lives.
Yeah. In the beginning it was not an example for others because we didn't saw that quite clear the situation. We had to experience first for ourselves a couple of things. But I wanted to start an experiment to see if, let's say it another way, if we want to transform our society into a sustainable society, it is not a matter of technology or techniques or governments or businesses who had to change, it is our mindset. All the necessary technologies are already existing and are laying on a shelf somewhere waiting to be used. It is a matter of changing your behavior. To do that, you have to step out of your comfort zone. Because if you're only willing to do things out of your comfort zone, then your unconscious is in control, not you, your unconscious. You have programmed it by yourself in your life, but you're not in control. So the end result will be exactly the same as you already have experienced. And Einstein was clear in that insanity is doing the same things all over again and expect another outcome. And we sincerely want another outcome. We want to have a sustainable lifestyle. And the only thing to achieve that, for so far I saw that, and we both saw that, is we have to start an experiment. We have to start a sort of adventurous development for ourselves to see what is actually happening, and from there to see our possibilities in achieving this.
Did you feel that you went to another planet when you were down in Antarctica all by yourself and basically nothing?
Antarctica is a very different place. When you are on Antarctica, the rest of the world is far away.
You can't hear it, no buzzing, nothing.
No. And the other way around is also true. But it's a weird place. Everything feels larger. The whole Antarctica is immense.
People don't realize how big it is.
No.
Or how high it is.
Yeah, and we only saw it a couple of days because of the weather, and otherwise it was a very small world. because of all the whiteouts.
Like being in an isolation tank,
Yeah, yeah.
A
And
very cool one.
except light instead of dark.
And the 24/7 light, I didn't have a problem with that. I found it very nice, but yeah, we are very easily sleepers, so we didn't feel anything. No, it wasn't a problem for us. And you were very efficient. There was a lot of time. It was a lot of light, so yeah, it's completely different.
It's also the worst place to have troubles.
Yeah.
Because you're so insulated and isolated, and alone, and you have
Remote.
there is nothing there. There's no life on the plateau. There is nothing.
Not
only
even any
ice.
penguins, right? They,
No,
they stay
there's
near the
nothing.
coast.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
No
live
trees,
on
nothing.
beaches, and the tourists like the beaches, and what we know about Antarctica, the nice pictures with whales and seagulls and
That's the
and
edge.
seals.
Yeah.
That's only mainly by the peninsula of
Yeah.
Antarctica and the coast. But on the plateau itself, there is no life anymore.
Except for the humans that actually are working
Yeah.
there, but you're
Two
you're
crazy
so far-
guys from the Netherlands who
Yeah.
try to make the world change lived there for 1 month, and we survived that.
Without using fossil fuel, I think that's one of the most important things we achieved. We drove there for 30 days. We lived there for 30 days without using any drop of fossil fuel.
I think your only competition would have been dog sleds,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah.
That's the way they did it
Yeah.
80, 100 years ago.
Yeah.
but that
Yeah,
was
or
it.
skiing or kiting. There are
Yeah, at the
other
same
ways.
time, I think there was two guys that skied
Yeah.
across the.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
that's
was
correct.
An American and a British one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met the Brit.
Yeah,
Oh, at the
Yeah.
glacier.
No, afterwards in Chile.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, he was doing the same trip as who wants to do that? Worsley?
Worsley.
Worsley. In
But
2015.
you know, we as human needs a lot of technology in our surroundings. We're the only species who are constantly developing more technologies. It's a good way to show the world that with technology you can also respect nature and work on a sustainable way. Our vehicle, yes, it has a large footprint. If we're talking about flotation, to avoid that we
Right.
were stuck in the ice or in the snow, but a very low or almost no footprint regarding sustainability or
Did
emissions.
you ever get stuck with the vehicle? I saw you having to dig, but was that to get the vehicle out?
Out,
Yeah.
yeah, because of all the drifting snow
Okay.
during the period that we are recharging or set camp.
What about like crevasses and things? Did you hit any of those, or
No.
you try to avoid them?
We were in the crevasses areas,
Okay.
the hazard areas, and of course it is a thrilling situation. But you normally do not see the crevasses because there is a large snow bridge
Okay.
covering them. And you should know if the bridge is strong enough to withstand the weight of your vehicle. That's the
So you were hoping a lot, or is there really a physical way with rods and things?
No. We had good information from the safety department in Union Glacier, which gave us the waypoints of the safe routes. They also have followed and ground rated, and there are also a lot of satellite images available. So we knew the route which to follow.
Okay.
But still, we were in the crevasse area and driving over those ice bridges.
You know, you don't know what's ahead of you. It's pretty amazing.
It's amazing, yeah. If you're thinking about the situation, if this ice bridge will break, then you will easily fall 500 meters downwards, and it is witching. So at the end, you will be stuck, and no way that you can go out.
Did you carry a rope long enough?
we had ropes and lifelines for that area if you were outside the car. But I didn't have any worries about the situation because we were well prepared for everything.
That's pretty amazing.
And it's the same for the wind conditions. We have experienced an awful lot of wind.
How much wind could it take before they'd flip over? I guess you would secure the solar panels so they wouldn't catch the wind as a sail. But the vehicle itself, how much wind do you think it could take?
Well, it's similar as a sailing yard. You have to reduce the amount of sails if the wind is catching up. So we lowered the panels structurally until everything was on the deck of the trailers and the truck. And in that case, we anchored the whole construction to the ice and waited until the wind was laying down. I had done my calculations, the stability calculations, and in the beginning I said, well, above 10 meters per second we have to stop because it is then uncertain what we can expect. And the stability will still be good enough, but the lay wheel will be experience a lot of extra pressure, and that will give us a lot of extra rolling resistance, and we cannot drive then for a long time. During the Missy expedition, we find it. We saw what the car could withstand in practice, and at the end we still drive with 20 meters per second of wind, side wind.
Wow.
But in a hard wind configuration, so that means that the lower panels were on the deck, the upper and the lower were still facing the sun.
Now you had a problem when they dropped you off on the glacier, right? Something to do with the wheel or something on one of the trailers?
Well, you can try to invent everything by yourself, but we thought, well, we have to look also back in history, and especially Hollywood give us a good inspiration. A good films always start with a thrilling moment.
Oh yeah.
No.
Can have a story.
And we had some thrilling moment in the beginning.
Well, our preparation was very secure, and Edwin has used steel bolt nut, and he changed that a couple of days before the Solar Voyager was put in a container. He was changing that with stainless steel bolt and nuts.
Okay.
And that was a very tiring and stupid work. You have to change the things, and you don't have to think about it. And in the whole process, someone was helping us, and well, we don't know who didn't do it, but in the whole process, 2 washers were forgotten.
Oh.
So that was the whole problem. So
if that's the least your problem,
that's the only problem.
At the end, we could say that was the case.
Yeah.
At that moment, to be honest, the Solar Voyager was facing the ice in the ocean, and it was a marvelous image. And it touches the ground, and within 10 meters, it lost its forewheel, and that's
dramatic side.
Dramatic situation. I was inside, I was steering, and coming outside, I saw all these shocked faces, and thought, well, this is end of the expedition.
But you were able to fix it right there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, the first thing in my mind was we have to get rid of the ice because the ocean needs to go because it was there for 1.5 hour. And if it stays there too long, it will not leave anymore. So that was the first problem. But there was a lot of heavy material and equipment available, so that was done very easily with the Caterpillar.
How often do they fly there?
Sorry?
How often does the aircraft fly to the glacier?
I do not know the exact amount of landings, but they have done in 13 years 300 landings. So in one season they do 20
something like that.
20 landings.
Yeah.
And they probably only take off when they know the weather is going to be good. Yeah. Where did they take off from? Chile?
From Punta Arenas, from
Okay.
a marine spot.
And about how far is it? Or how many hours?
4.5 hours.
Yeah, 4.5.
Yeah.
And they are landing on a blue ice strip near the mountains.
Okay.
It was an amazing, smooth area. They have ground graded it completely, and there are a lot of crevasses around it. But the
Okay.
blue ice glacier is 9 kilometers of length and 3 kilometers wide. And that's a very solid way to land a heavy.
Cargo plane.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, did it really look blue when you were there, or is it like the edge of the
It's
glacier is
really
blue?
blue. It's
Yeah,
like this.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah.
when you dig into the snow, you get a kind of bluish color out of the ground. It's really weird.
Yeah, I've seen the snow melt in Chile, and it's
Yeah,
blue
it's
too.
like there's some kind of light
LED
underneath.
lights.
Yeah.
They're all,
Light, I don't know
everywhere
what
is
to
a
call
LED
it, but
light.
It's so weird to see it. When you dig a hole, you get all kind of blue images around.
Do they know what caused that, or is it just reflection from the sky?
Yeah, that's a reflection. It's I do not know how to translate it, but the transferring the light in the ice in the spectrum is at the end only giving this blue shades.
Yeah.
Did you make any drinks out of the ice?
Yeah, that's
constantly.
our life. We depend on that because we had a water maker and that works also on solar power. Yeah, you.
So how did
get-
that work?
We are using the vacuum tubes, which collecting the light, and the internal part of the tubes will be 320 degrees in
Celsius.
in a sunshiny day. In this internal situation, we have a stainless steel piping, and through that piping is running our water, and it's constantly circulated in our system.
How warm did the water get?
100 degree boiling
Oh,
water.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
we
we are
had to
the-
cool it.
We're the first expedition who actually drained water because we had too much boiling water.
Yeah,
Now, could you have used that in a radiator to actually heat the cabin?
Yeah,
yeah, we could
yeah,
have.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, in my first ideas, I had drawn also a radiator to drain extra energy. But being busy with the whole concept and reading a lot of Antarctica, I became doubting about the fact that we would collected enough water to melt.
You did better
our
than you
ice.
thought. Yeah.
So we had 3 extra options to make our water before we should use fossil fuel to melt our water.
'Cause that's pretty much what everyone else has done in the past. They haven't
Yeah.
used
Yeah.
solar.
And still do.
The guys that did the skiing, I wonder how they got their water.
I think
Boiling?
they had a more.
Yeah, with the
Boiler? Yeah, boiler,
little
yeah.
boilers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the normal way, and it is a common practice. And this is what I actually meant with if you stick acting from your comfort zone because you know that it is working well. Let's do that. Then the result is exactly what you already experienced. You have to burn a lot of fuel to have a drip of.
But we
Water.
took a risk,
Yeah.
of course, because nobody has ever done this on Antarctica.
So you could have cooked some food while you were up there too.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did.
Boy, oh, you did? Okay.
we
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
We had
We had this.
dry freezed food,
Yeah.
so you have to add water,
Okay, yeah.
and that went great. Yeah.
I thought maybe you brought some frozen meat up
No,
and
no,
you
no,
could
no, no,
put
no.
it in there and cook it.
No. No, we had our because we didn't know how warm it's gonna get.
Yeah.
And it did outstanding, but you never know that up front.
How was the food?
The food was well, it was fine.
In the beginning, it
In
was
the beginning,
great,
It was fine. It
Yeah.
was great.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
And then it got a little tiring.
Yeah, we had 13 kinds of warm meals,
Okay.
so there was a lot of, and you have your, well, I don't like everything of it, but it's edible.
there are favorites, and
Yeah.
you're trying to collect more of your favorites at the end to
Yeah.
have a good day. But
Well, most hikers know what that's like.
yeah,
They use that same.
Yeah.
we were not there to have a good meal, and
But you did at the end, right?
yeah,
When you came back to the glacier.
yeah. We
Celebrated Christmas over
Yeah.
there.
well, during our expedition, we thought, well, we cannot reach South Pole, and this was really disappointed at that moment. And it was not due to the fact that our equipment was not efficient,
Inefficient or broken or
exactly, or us, because we had enough energy and willingness to achieve South Pole, but we had a lack of time.
You would have had enough time, assuming that the weather was fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah. It was based on that.
You just didn't spend the time going the full distance, but you spent your time on the ice
Yes,
and
we
dealing
did.
with it.
And also with the idea, it is not about achieving South Pole. It is about
Showing it could be done.
yes, that's exactly the situation. And well, there was a sort of turning point at 12 December, and we saw 12 December nearby, and thought, well, we are much too far to reach it, and we have to make a decision. And based on that, we said, well, it's enough. We are showing the world already that it can be done. So let's go for a safe drive back. But the first days, it was a
Did it
little
take
bit
you about the
disappointing.
same amount of time going forward and backward?
Yeah. Because we completely experienced the same things
Okay.
all over again, and sometimes even worse than in the beginning. After a couple of days, we said, well, we have done our utmost, and it was not about South Pole. It was all about our mission, and we have achieved that. So we're happy with that. But once we are back in in Union Glacier, nobody was interested in us achieving South Pole. If we did or not, it is for them. It's not that important. The most amazing thing was that we actually had the guts to do something what we did, and with the results we have brought back to the camp. For instance, this water maker.
Yeah.
Because they are constantly flying a lot of oil into Antarctica
Right.
to heat up the tents and
make it possible to take a shower.
this is not only good for the environment, but also for their own exploitation.
Proof of concept for
yeah.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. So that we as regular people were the first who had the guts to start this expedition and show the rest of the world that it can be done sustainable. That is by far the most interesting part.
Do they have solar panels there at the glacier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they do use that.
They
Yeah,
just use
yeah,
that,
but not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough. It is a sort of add-on. Nice to have them, and well, it is a cheap energy, but they can do so much more than they do at the moment, and much more efficient and brighter than that. Put some panels on the wall and that's it.
Okay.
And we are using bifacials because of all the ice and snow. There's so much reflection and so much
So you can still
available
gain,
energy.
you still gain some solar
Yeah.
from the reflection off the snow. Okay, I didn't
We
think
have
about
proved that because in a whiteout you cannot see anything. No sun, no clouds, nothing. There's a big cloud cover over you. Still, we're able to collect an awful lot of energy to drive
really?
and to live on.
Was it those specific panels? I assume they're very efficient panels, right?
Yeah, it is. And not that they are very special, but they are bifacial. In a normal
Okay.
situation, you have on one side collecting sunlight, and the other side is mainly the roof side.
Right.
In a normal
You don't need them then.
urban situation. But
Okay.
on our car,
Yeah.
it was in a rack, so there was also the possibility to collect on the rear side
Okay.
a lot of daylight.
There's
or
no way to
reflection.
separate it out to know how much you were getting off the backside.
No.
But you just know you were getting some.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, a normal panel can have somewhere around 280 watts per panel.
Okay.
Ours were 350 watts, and that's due to the fact that they are
Okay, so,
bifacial.
yeah.
And we at the end have seen a maximum of 480.
So that's beyond their capacity.
Absolutely.
The specifications.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
everyone
you had
was
the
amazed
perfect
about
condition.
it. And not even the perfect condition, which is normal in Antarctica, because we have the maximum is light intensity of 600 watt per square meter, and it can be up to 1,000.
That's because of the elevation and the clearness of the atmosphere, etc.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it is cool, so the efficiency will
Yeah.
also improve.
Most people think solar panels work better in heat, and that's not
Yeah,
true.
it's the opposite.
The best thing is high elevation, clear skies.
Yeah, it's the same for our motors. And so energy-wise, we had an ideal situation.
Well, it sounds like you proved a lot to people.
And to ourselves.
Did you think you were going to make it from the beginning? Did you have any doubts?
Yeah,
Driving on Antarctica?
Yeah.
Or,
well,
Just first of all, even getting there, number one.
yeah, that was
All the things you had to go through
Yeah,
just to
well-
get there. I mean, to me, that's an undertaking just to get there, let alone do the drive.
yeah, it took a lot
Putting
of
it all
energy
together,
to
all
go
the
there.
people.
I do not have a straight answer to that because our way to live is on the moment. And if you're in a flow, you're not thinking, well, will it be worth to do all this effort or things like that. We are focusing on the things which has to be done
Just-
at that moment.
Just figuring out what you need to do to just get it done.
And do it.
Yeah,
And
not
if
have
you're
any doubts.
failing, don't see it as a disappointment. 180 degrees is the best thing to experience something which you can learn to do it better.
But you've learned a lot, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because we made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, well, that's what you learn from mistakes.
Exactly, and this is forgotten. Children knows that. If you start to learn how to ride a bike, you start
You might
falling
fall a
down
couple times,
constantly,
Yeah.
and still you're focusing. I want to drive. I want to drive, and that's the way children have a steep learning curve. And if you see how adults try to learn things, well, it should be always comfortable, and you have to have a lot of guarantees before you're starting. And the majority has already a lot of regrets that they already started, so they stop immediately.
Yeah, and when people tell them that it's not possible, they won't start.
Yeah, you got to be stubborn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
Don't
just have
say,
to
yes, it
start.
can be. Yes, it can
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. And this is actually the most important thing of our project. Don't believe that it is not possible. Believe that it's possible. And well, maybe it's a long way, and maybe you have to make first a lot of mistakes and failures. But don't hesitate.
Do it yourself. Take small steps, one step at a time, but make them.
And have confidence in yourself, knowing
Yes.
that you can do it.
And you can do more than you think.
And this is what we also experienced on Antarctica. You know,
Nobody's going to help you there.
nobody's going to help you, and the beginning is always the most difficult. We were in the surroundings of the camp. We had good food. We had a lot of attention. It was bad weather, so let's wait a while. Let's see when there's the right moment to start. But after 2 days, we get bored about waiting and said, well, try to imagine that tomorrow it is the best way to start. Do you really think that for the rest of your journey you will only experience that? So let's start. Let's make the first step. If it is 1 kilometer, and I said to the operator of the camp, well, promise me one thing. We will start today, but don't laugh if you're seeing us setting camp within 500 meters. It's nearby, but we're on the move.
Yeah.
Well, we did a good day, and it
Yeah.
was maybe
15
15
kilometers.
nautical
Or
miles.
something, yeah.
Wow.
So it was a good start, and it was already directly into the hazardous areas with a lot of crevassing. So
And bad weather.
bad weather, out of sight.
Yeah.
So we set camp, and we thought, well, we're on the move. And from that moment, you have to make your first step the same as my first step, stopping with your businesses. Don't have any income anymore. Make the first step, that's the most difficult. And after that, of course, we experience a lot of problems, but you're on the move. And that's a good thing.
I guess similar to going to the moon. You know, if anybody needs to help you, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, but if I'm seeing the politicians and the industry talking about what's the best way to transfer our business into a sustainable business or society into sustainable, they're searching for a sort of general answer for all the problems. I have learned during our expedition, and that was in the part that we are sailing on the oceans. If you want to see possibilities, you have to look more in detail into nature, because nature has already solved a lot of problems.
Been around longer than we have.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're looking at nature, for instance, if you're in the ocean to fish, there is no general concept for a fish. There are more than 10,000, maybe 100,000 of species. And some will survive for quite a long time and others for a short time.
Some we don't even know about yet.
But the beauty of nature is the variety. So it is not about, is solar power the best way to live sustainable? I really do not know. And it's not that important. Make the first step because it is available, and from there on you're on the move, and you will experience if it can survive a longer time or if you have to change or adapt new technologies. And that's the good thing. And it's a pity that I see a lot of people who think, well, it's too early, we're not there, we have to wait until the technology is more available. It's bullshit. It is available, and do your utmost and learn from experience instead of a theoretical thinking.
You've done an amazing trip. It's something that more people need to know about.
Yeah, spread the word.
Thanks for talking to me.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you again to Howard for traveling to meet Edwin and Liesbeth, and to Edwin and Liesbeth for your courage, your insights, your inspiration. What you're sharing with the world will have ripple effects for years to come. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And now you know.